what you can do if you suspect an employee may be experiencing family and domestic violence. The most important step is to actually start the conversation. So, how do you start a conversation? If you notice an employee displaying some of the signs of experiencing family and domestic violence, it's important to check in on their well-being and ask them how they are. Just remember that managers and co-workers are not counsellors. Employees can access professional help from a range of services. These resources can be found in the Need More Help section at the end of the toolbox. If you suspect that your employee might be experiencing or affected by family and domestic violence, here are some ways to respectfully raise your concerns with them. It's important to provide a safe and private place where you can have a confidential conversation. Ask open-ended questions that give your employee a way to safely disclose, such as, "How are things at home?" or "You seem anxious lately." Or simply ask them, "Are you okay?" Try your best to share your observations using non-judgmental language and expressions. This is a difficult time for people, so be prepared for an emotional response, including tears, defensiveness, and even withdrawal. Remember to focus on listening and avoid giving advice. Let them be in control of the conversation. It's important to remember that an employee can choose not to talk to you about your concerns, and if that's the case, don't be offended. Here are some examples of things you should avoid doing when starting a conversation. Don't assume any facts before you're spoken to the employee. Don't pull the employee aside and ask them overly direct or insensitive questions, such as whether they're in a violent relationship. Don't ask them in a public place or in a team meeting if they're okay. Pull them aside, do it discreetly. The following will provide you how to respond if you initiated a conversation and an employee confided in you, or if an employee confides in you on their own initiative. It's important to stay calm and respond appropriately. Here are some helpful things to remember when responding. Firstly, take the matter seriously, believe them, tell them it's not their fault and that violence is never okay. Try and use a calm and reassuring tone. Acknowledge how hard it must be for the employee to talk about what is happening to them. Remember, put safety first and check for an immediate threat. If you are concerned for their safety, say so. Be aware of how the employee's cultural and linguistic background could affect their understanding of what family and domestic violence is. Provide practical support by simply asking how you can help. Where possible, give information about their entitlements and your workplace's family and domestic violence policy. Provide information about support services available and refer them on if requested, and, if where possible, show them how to access the information. Follow up with them and continue providing support. A simple phone call or a text message might just be enough. Here are some examples of things you should avoid doing. So don't express doubt, judgment, or shock. Don't press them for details, give advice, or tell them what to do. Don't make comments or ask questions that undermine what the employee is experiencing, such as, "Why do you put up with it?" or "Why are you still there?" You don't know their circumstances. Don't criticise their decisions, partner, or family member, or whoever the suspected perpetrator may be. Don't try to fix their situation, such as by pressuring them to leave or take any specific action. Remember, talking with someone about family and domestic violence is not easy, but it is important to do. A free, short online course, such as Difficult Conversations in the Workplace, can be found at the Fair Work website, and the details provided at the end of this toolbox. For people experiencing family or domestic violence, please call 1-800-RESPECT or go to www.1800respect.org.au. It's interesting to note that in this current time of the COVID crisis, there's been over a 70% increase in Google-related traffic related to domestic violence. So don't assume that everything's okay. Be vigilant in the workplace and don't be afraid to ask for support if needed.